Hey everyone, it is Hunter Fireflower, and in today's video I'll be doing a summary of Star Wars on the Jedi Force Storm comic number 4. So if you haven't seen the other comics, you should probably go watch those videos before you watch this one. Without further ado, let's start. We are at Akar Kesh, and we have a meeting with Master Katu, but he's over here with a transmission of all the different Jihadi masters, and they're talking about how, like, we've never seen a Force Storm this intense before in over 10,000 years. They're like, there's a great darkness going on, like, what do we do? Katu gets like this little droid thingy. This little droid was searching for him, and it gave him a little transmission recording, and we see all of the Jedi Masters just sitting there up top there, and we get a message from Master Kwon Jae, remember the blade-looking guy? They cannot communicate with comms, so he basically had to send a droid out to send him a message, and he was basically saying that the dark side is permeating from this wreckage, and that there is a being that is feeding it. So and that being is Zesh, as we all know, and then he says that, like, oh, Tasha, Ro, and Shay, and Seknos are all there, and they're trying to find the guy. We see the Twi'lek over here saying Tasha, that is Master Korra, as we know, and she is Tasha's mother. But anyways, they talk about how they went into the Abyss, and they're just like, oh no, because the Abyss makes everyone go crazy. And then Master Katu has this plan that we need to have all of the masters across all the Jihadi temples start focusing and meditating on the Force so that they can try to get rid of the dark side energies that's causing the storms in the first place. And they're basically like, we have to save Tython type thing. This planet is about to implode with dark side energy. We then fast forward and we see Tasha saying Seknos that are over here, and they're not looking too good. We see Tasha here, she's getting kind of antsy looking. Shay looks like she's about to kill somebody. And then Seknos is just like, wow, you see, my powers are better. I mean, it's not really phasing Seknos that much. But anyway, Shay's over here, and she's got this death stare, and she sees her mother and father. And her mother and father are talking to her, and then she's literally saying, like, you, like, abandoned me or something, and she's gonna kill her mother and father. But Seknos is like, hold on, like, Shay was charging at Tasha, but she thought Tasha was her mother and her father, so people are going insane down here. And then she was going on about how her parents abandoned her, and then Seknos is trying to, like, calm her down, saying, like, no, your parents died as heroes. They died during the Depot Wars, which, if you watched number 1, you know the Depot Wars were this big thing against Jihadi, against these non-Force users, and it was this huge battle of, like, tons of people dying, and the entire Typhon system was in ruins. Seknos is like, I want to die a glorious death like they do. And then she basically says, yeah, you will. Kind of insinuating that she's gonna kill them. We see Tasha saying, like, oh, I can't see you guys at all. All I see is darkness. All I see is darkness. And then she sees her mother and father, as you see up there. So that's Master Korra with her father, the Baron. And then Shay, she has the lightsaber on, and she's like, I'm gonna kill you because your family helped Queen Hadia, the queen of the Depot Wars that was fighting against the Jedi. And then Tasha is like, I know that my family was working with Queen Hadia and fighting against the Jedi during the Depot Wars, but they didn't know what type of monster she truly was. And then Tasha reveals that Queen Hadia killed her grandfather and his eldest son too, because they would not listen to her. And Shay drops her lightsaber, and looks like they're about to hold hands, and they're like, you know, we gotta do this, we're Jihadi, we acted a little rash back there, let's do this. And then they're all doing this force ball thing, and they're literally just citing the Jihadi code. Then they said that they're gonna go find Zesh to put an end to this madness. Now this is a flashback, and we see the Rakata ship burning above Tython. Gal Nass over here, and the ship's exploding, and he's like, these miserable slaves demolished my ship. So somehow something in the ship was sabotaged. I'm not sure if it was a slave or what. But then we have Skalnas saying, you know, who killed all my guards? And then we see a lightsaber going through him, as well as the other Rakata guards. Then we go back to Zesh, and he is not doing too good. He says, he's like, oh, I'm the one that killed my master, but he doesn't remember why he killed his master or how it really happened. He's only getting little snippets. And then we see these disgusting spiders. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I hate spiders. And seeing this just really, like, triggered me. Like, I was just like, ugh! Like, they're going in his mouth, they wrapped him up, they're about to devour him from the inside out, and then he's just like, I gotta save myself! And then he shoots out this lightning to kill all these big, nasty, disgusting spiders. And then he escapes the big spiders, and he's going to try to escape. He's just like, man, this world is terrible. But since he's going in the abyss, he himself is going crazy as well. And he's seeing visions of all the Rakata that he slew on the ship. and it's kind of haunting him a little bit. And he tries to run away and escape the shadows. The next part, we see Master Kwon Jae. He's flying on the Rancor dragon, and he's just thinking about this dark storm and how the depths of the chasm itself is making people go insane. He's remembering Dagon Locke, and Dagon Locke is that one hooded figure, the really old hobo-looking guy that's on Bogan that went crazy. And he basically is going on about how Dagon Locke went down into the chasm and went crazy, and he almost made Hawkrow go with him with his craziness. Dagon Locke was my student. It was my job to teach him the ways of the Force, and I lost him to the Abyss. I'm not going to lose Shay. And then all of a sudden, a beam of lightning comes out of the sky and shoots the Rancor dragon, direct hit into its body, and it starts plummeting down to the surface. Next, we see Hawk with Rory, and they're talking about how they have to find the Journeyers, and she can't sense anything with the goggles. And then Rory's just like all up on him, saying like, oh, remember we used to be together, but now we can't be together, you know? Hawk's just like, girl, we gotta find the Journeyers, you know? We can't be sitting here. And so they keep traveling, looking for them as the earth around them is literally collapsing. Then we get another flashback with Zesh, and he sees all these like shadow cat things that are attacking him. He gets another flashback that basically brings him back to the old days of when he was in the arena of Abyss, and how back then you always, when he was fighting, it was life or death, and you fought till you died. He was fighting this one guy named, a slave named Isk. His opponent was rumored to be the Prador Skelnos's best Force Hound. So this is kind of going, I believe it was comic 1 where the Pradors were talking about how, oh, we'll have our Force Hounds fight later. This is what they do for fun. They have their Force Hounds fight other Force Hounds to see how good they really are. And these fights are always to the death. That's the Ricotta way. It's really brutal, to be honest, and it's not forgiving at all. And then we just have the Pradors here, as you see up top here, just literally watching what's happening, and we have Trill just in amazement. I think she might have a thing for Zesh. I don't know. We'll find out. Zesh is having these flashbacks while he's fighting these creatures, basically saying how the arenas of Abyss that were to the death are no different than this. You fight till you die. The stakes are still high. You either conquer or you die. The Force Hound in the arena grabs some like little, I don't know, like little tranquilizing darts or something, and he starts throwing them, and Zesh is doing the same thing, except, you know, in real life, and throwing them at the little cat thingies. But in the arena, Zesh is able to block them, but in real life, he lands them on the cats to basically kill them. And you keep fighting. You fight, you keep fighting on, you never give up. So he's still fighting, and the cat is still on him when all of a sudden this like abyss worm thing comes out and just grabs the cat, and Zesh is like, okay. If destiny will allow you to escape, if it doesn't, then you just die. You keep fighting until you can't. He's trying to use the force to lift up this rock. He's really, really tired, and he just drops the rock because he's like, I can't fight anymore. When all of a sudden, the Journeyers, Technos, Shay, and Tasha come out, and they're like, hey, you guys want some help, you know? So they're over here distracting the worm, trying to save Zesh. The only reason why I can see they're trying to save Zesh is because they want to question him for later. They know that Zesh is part of their destiny, they just don't know exactly what yet. They're running away from the worm, and then the worm, apparently, it can literally, this rift worm can literally like shoot lightning out of its mouth and its body. And Shay and Tasha are just over here like, we're keeping the lightning at bay. And the correct term is called a sarl, I believe it's how it's called, or a rift worm. Jess is over here being a little sneaky. He's like, you know, while you guys are distracted, I'm just gonna run. Then Tasha has this thought of like, hey, like, do you think the force storm is what caused this worm to come out from the abyss? And they're like, oh, yeah, probably, but let's just keep fighting. And Shay's like, hey, take this lightsaber and try to activate it, which none of them can seem to activate it. They're just like, I don't know how this works. Then we see Shay over here, and she's trying to turn this thing on. She's like, I command you to turn on. I command you to turn on. And it won't turn on. Zesh says, here, toss me the weapon. The force saber, it's not called a lightsaber, but it's a lightsaber. Technos is like, just give it to him, Shay. Like, it's basically, like, they don't even care if Zesh, like, runs away or tries to kill them. They just want to try and get out of the worm. So Shay throws it up to Zesh. Zesh grabs it. And then we get another flashback of him fighting with that one slave in the arena of Abyss. He's literally just killing him. And the other slave is just like, hey, just kill me in battle. I want a good death. Zesh says no. And then the other slave is taken away by the Ricotta, so I'm not quite sure if the Ricotta are going to kill him or what. And then they say, oh, looks like Zesh won, you know, he's a good force hound, he's devoid of any mercy as any Ricotta. The Ricotta have no mercy, And then they say, prepare the loser. So I'm assuming they're going to execute him. Zesh turns on the lightsaber, and he walks away with the lightsaber. And they're just like, Zesh, aren't you gonna help us? We literally saved you from this thing, and you're just gonna leave us here to die? And then he says, one world, one fight. Arena rules always apply. These arena rules go on to say, hey, if you can escape, escape. If you're going to die, escape and run for your life. Don't help other people. It's every man for himself. It's a free-for-all up in here. If you have to let other people die just so you live, do it. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment of what you liked about the comic. If you want to see similar content to this, just leave a comment below of what you want to see next. I do have this, I'm going to be making a whole series for this entire comic, so if you want to just keep following along, please subscribe to look for those videos. I do make content related to canon stuff as well. I have the Kylo Ren comic reviews up, and I also am making a Darth Vader one. So if you want to see those, go ahead. I also do book reviews, so please subscribe if you actually want to see those videos. They're all in these different playlists that I made, depending on the timeline you want to watch. So that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay frosty.